Hi there. So you're an author. You've written a book and you'd like it to be released as an audiobook as well as in print and ebook form. But you've little or no idea what the process involves. Well, don't fret. I'm Andy the audiobook narrator and I'm about to reveal all. Yes, indeed. In this video, I'll describe a typical audiobook production process. Now, not every audiobook narrator will adopt the same approach, but in my view, this strategy includes the main 6 steps to success, which I have used with every audiobook I produced. And it has worked for me, and most importantly, every author I've worked for absolutely loved engaging with this process. So stick with me to the end of the video as I describe the 6-step production process. And as a bonus, I'll reveal how you can get hold of a copy of my more detailed production strategy document, which I have written to help authors like you. So here we go. 6 steps to audiobook success. Step 1. Once you've made the manuscript available to the narrator, the first thing that they should do before anything else is read the entire book. They need to get to know the characters and their personalities so that they portray them appropriately and accurately. And they need to know where the story is heading, its mood and the atmosphere it depicts, and how the story concludes. An audiobook narrator shouldn't come across any surprises that they aren't expecting, because if they do, it will probably be obvious and expose shortcomings in their narration which, had they prepared properly, could have been avoided. And during this step, they might notice some typos or even some plot holes that should be brought to your attention, which could be very helpful to you, of course. Step 2. Having read the whole book, they can then start narrating and recording it. In my opinion, it is better that they do so chapter by chapter or section by section. Why will become clear in a moment. Step 3. Immediately they finish narrating and recording a chapter, they should review it by listening to their recording whilst checking it against the manuscript for word accuracy. That way they should pick up if they have misread anything, missed anything out, or if any extraneous noises such as static or mouth clicks or throat gurgles are heard. I tend to complete this step in the same sitting following step 2, the narration, whilst it is still fresh, and so that I can carry out any corrections there and then whilst I am still in front of the microphone. Step 4 is the editing process. I tend to do this back in my office rather than in the recording studio. This is where the narrator should remove overlong pauses, ensure that overall timing and pace of the recording is good, remove excessive breaths, apply any effects to the recording that might be needed, such as a telephone voice or an echo. It's the longest process and might take as much as 3 times as long as the content duration, e.g. a half-hour chapter might take around an hour and a half to edit. Step 5. Step 5 is what's called mastering the recording. This is where technical audio effects are applied, such as equalization, noise removal and normalization. And what those do is make the level of the sound consistent. These applications are necessary to meet the audiobook submission quality requirements. Once step 5 is completed, this is when you, as the author, publisher, or both if you're doing both jobs, should be invited to review the recording. It gives you a chance to give the narrator some feedback and request any changes. For example, has the narrator understood the subtleties in the meanings behind particular sentences and applied the correct intonation that provides the right emphasis where necessary? Is the voice that the narrator has given newly introduced characters correct in terms of, for example, accent or personality? It's better if the narrator knows what changes to voices or pronunciations are needed as soon as possible and deals with them before they build up over subsequent chapters. Once you've listened to the recording, if you have any corrections, the narrator should attend to them as quickly as possible before moving on too far into the book, and you should be given the chance to listen to and approve any changes. Finally, step 6. That comes after the whole book in its instalments, i.e. chapters or sections, has been recorded and approved by you and corrected where necessary. So this final step involves uploading the whole book to the audiobook platform, such as Audible or Findaway Voices, the platform that will be releasing it for sale. They will do their own quality checks, but if the narrator has carried out steps 4 and 5 correctly, there should be no problems passing them. So, here is a recap of the 6 steps with the amount of time the narrator spends on each step related to 1 hour of content. Step 1. Read the whole book. 1 1/4 hours. That extra quarter of an hour allows them to make any notes they need as they read. Step 2. Narrate and record. 1 1/2 hours. Step 3. Review and correct. 1 1/4 hours. Step 4. Edit the chapter or section recording. 3 hours. Step 5. Mastering the recording. 1/4 of an hour. Once this step is done, you should have the chance to review the recording, give feedback to the narrator, and request changes where necessary. The correction should be done before too much further progress through the book is made, and that might add to the time that this step takes. Step 6. Final submission to the audiobook platform such as Audible. 1/2 an hour. Okay. So the mathematicians amongst you will have worked out that 1 hour of content could involve the narrator in around 7.5 to 8 hours work. So a book with 10 hours of content might take them around 80 hours to produce over several days or even weeks. Now you may decide that you don't really want to be that involved in the production process, listening to every chapter and approving them and so on. That's fine. It's up to you. You might prefer to simply let your narrator get on with it without your participation or interference. But there is a risk that the final outcome might not be quite as you would have liked. And all the authors that I've worked for just love to hear their book as it is brought to life. How often have I heard the phrase expressed with a certain amount of elation, "Did I really write that?" Now, earlier I said that I would tell you how to get a copy of my audiobook production strategy entirely free, of course. Just visit my website at the address below and in the notes accompanying this video. From the home page, click on the Services button, and then from there scroll down to Audiobooks, where you'll see a button, Read My Audiobook Production Strategy. And if you then have any questions, please do get in touch with me either here through the comments section below or via my website. Okay, and if you like this video, click that thumbs up button please, and do subscribe to my channel, as I will be releasing many more videos about audiobooks over the coming weeks and months, which should be of interest to all of you authors. So thanks for looking in, and see me again soon. Bye for now.